Good afternoon, guys. It's Workin bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Bitcoin to the U.S. dollar. This is the one-day chart on Coinbase. And last time we spoke was right before the Tether news, guys. It was sitting price was sitting right up here, just below this area of resistance, right around 5,600, the top of this prior order structure back here that we had talked about numerous times. And we had just bounced off this, guys. And when I completed the video, literally 2 hours later, the Tether news came out. Now, if you remember, guys, last time we were discussing the let me just bring it up here very quickly. We were discussing shorts and how shorts were just incredibly stacked, guys, and they really were. I mean, we were seeing shorts stacked without a major correction, all the way. Let's see, I think about 85% without a major correction. Let's see. An 85%, yeah, 85% increase in shorts without a major correction. The last time we saw shorts stack like that, again, not to sound like a broken record, guys, but I want to emphasize without a major correction. Obviously, we've seen shorts stacked like this many times in the past, but never in a straight line like this. Typically, they would go up, you'd get a little bit of a correction, and then they'd continue up here. This has just basically been mostly in a straight line. The last time we saw that was January of 2018 when the market was completely tanking. So with short stacking to that degree, guys, typically market makers, do you want to liquidate those short positions, they would typically drive price up to liquidate some of those. And I think that's exactly what would have happened had it not been for that Tether news, guys. And that Tether news just brought everything right back down. And I find it interesting because well, those shorts were stacked, I think, for a reason. I mean, it was very unusual to see short stacking to that degree, as I said. So you've got to wonder if that Tether news, if someone didn't have some inside information on that Tether news. And I think, to be honest, I think they were expecting a larger reaction. In other words, I think they were expecting price to break down sub $5,000, and I find it very, very, at least temporarily, a very good sign in the market that the market was able to hold up at that $5,000 range. You know, again, it just wicked below it here briefly at about 49.50, but for the most part held up above $5,000, which was a very, very bullish sign in my opinion. Now, we'll have to wait and see kind of how this plays out, guys. As of right now, I'm watching very closely. I think that we do have a descending resistance line here that is a rather relevant line, especially considering that we had this pivot high here, and so that would justify this descending resistance line that has held back since September 2018, with one little exception of a very small wick here that got pushed right back down. For the most part, though, this has been a very, very relevant resistance line, and it proves 5 months later that it still is with that rejection right at the top of that. So I'm going to be watching this very closely. If we get a break above that resistance line, guys, I do think that's going to be a very bullish sign. I think that might be an indication that we're going to come up and test 6,000. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. And of course, we have our ascending support line down here that I've been talking about, guys, which also is very, very relevant. I think a break below that ascending support line, guys, would bring us down to quickly at least $4,000. Now, $4,000, of course, is that the bottom of our major, what was major resistance that I would expect to act as major support. If that breaks down, guys, of course, I think we're going to come back and test at least 3,600, if not our prior low here at 3,150. I don't expect that to happen. I would expect 4,000 to at least temporarily act as a very, very strong support in the at least, I said, at least temporarily if we do get a larger breakdown. But I'd be very surprised if 4,000 did break. So short term, guys, yes, we're watching 5,000. I think right now we're stuck between resistance and support. I think we've got resistance up above here at about 53.50. That was the prior high of the ascending triangle before we broke out here. I do expect that to act as resistance again. And of course, we have our support down here at roughly $5,000, which not only is a technical support, but also a very strong psychological support. So I think we're kind of stuck between the two. Personally, if we zoom in here on the hourly, which I'm not going to do, I think a lot of day traders are trading that. We're getting a tighter and tighter range on the hourly chart. I've been trading that. I'm no longer trading that anymore. I got some decent scalps off that, guys, but now I'm out, and I'm kind of waiting to see which way this breaks. I'm not seeing any signs of a break up or down. I'm kind of seeing a lot of uncertainty in the market, unusually so. I think a lot of people don't know what to do with this Tether news here and are waiting to see how it plays out. I do think if you're in Tether right now, man, you've got a set of balls on you if you're staying in Tether. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it didn't offend anybody. But yeah, I don't think that you. I think staying in Tether right now is a very risky play. Not financial advice at all. I think staying on Bitfinex right now is a rather risky play. Obviously, right now Bitfinex I think is trading at a premium on Bitcoin. It's trading at about a $250 premium at the moment. moment. Of course, that's because I think a lot of people are trading from Tether into Bitcoin to get their money off of Bitfinex, and of course, it's much easier to get your money off Bitfinex if you're in Bitcoin. So that's why it's causing that quick premium. We'll have to wait and see kind of how it ends up playing out, guys. But for right now, I think your best play is to kind of sit back and wait and see how this news ends up breaking out, or how this news ends up playing out. I think a break below $5,000 is going to be a signal to go short. I think it's going to be a quick drop to at least 4,500, this ascending support line, if and when that does happen. A decisive break, I should clarify, a decisive break, not a wick, but a decisive break below $5,000. Again, decisive, I mean a daily candle, both opening and closing below 5,000. I think that'll be a good entry to, or a good signal to short. If we come in here and we look at the daily chart, checking our moving averages, exponential moving averages, and our Bollinger Bands here, we can see that we're sitting, let me zoom in here, we're sitting right on top of the 21-day EMA, have yet to decisively break below that 21-day EMA. Again, decisively, I mean a daily candle, both opening and closing below. If you've watched my videos for any amount of time, you know how much emphasis I put on the 21-day EMA. I think that's a very, very, very good indicator of a bull or bear market, or I should say, a shift in momentum to the bulls or the bears. And it has been a very good indicator in the past. I think it is a good indicator now. As of right now, it's holding strong as a decent support. We've wicked below it, but we've not decisively broken below it. It's literally just bouncing right on top of the 21-day EMA. So if we get a daily candle closing below the 21-day EMA, that's going to be a red flag. If we get a daily candle both opening and closing below the 21-day EMA, I think that's going to be a very good time to go in short. And I think I would target, again, at least 4,500, if not this area down here, at least this 50-day moving, excuse me, or not the 50-day moving average, sorry guys, at the 200-day moving average, this purple line down here, and that's currently sitting at about 44.30-ish, somewhere thereabouts, guys. So I do think it could be a very quick drop, even though we do have some support, as I pointed out in the past, here at 4,500 here. I think that we could find ourselves a very quick drop down to like 4,400, 4,400, 4350-ish, but we can also see that is either of those, with the exception of the 200-day moving average, which has acted as a very strong support in the past. But just looking technically on the chart here, there's really, we've got some support here. What was resistance should act as support at about 4,500. We've got the top of these wicks here at about 4350 down to 4250, which acted as a a decent resistance here in the past. But again, we're only looking at wicks here. Really, the solid support, or should be the solid resistance, what should act as solid support, is here between 4120 and 4,000. So yes, I can see a scenario where this thing just dumps at least down to the ascending support line here, if not our $4,000 to 4120 range. It could happen very, very quickly. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying if $5,000 does break down, guys, I think it could get bearish very, very quickly. But we all know that we've been looking for a strong correction since we've had our this little bull run that we've been on since the bottom here of in December. We've yet to have a very strong correction here, and so everybody's looking for one. And I do think that there's a good chance we get one. That being said, this Tether news, as I said, has really kind of screwed things up, guys. So you can really see a scenario where to try to liquidate short positions, we get a spike up here again, or this whole thing just ends up collapsing. This thing ends up being just another house of cards, and we find ourselves down here at this $4,000 range very, very quickly. But as long as we make long term, as long as we stay above $4,000, guys, I do think this is a bullish sign. I think $4,000 is kind of the bull's last stand. If that breaks down, guys, things could get ugly very quickly. But as long as $4,000 holds, guys, I do think this could be a very good opportunity to buy Bitcoin. And I certainly know if we ever see $4,000, I'll be going in very heavy on Bitcoin. Not saying it's going to happen, guys, just kind of telling you the things that I'm watching at the moment. Other things getting my attention, looking at the daily RSI, I've showed you guys here in the past, looking at about 53.9 on the RSI on the daily, guys. That's acted as a decent resistance here in the past. Once it broke above here decisively, we can see that it acted as decent support. A few exceptions where it briefly broke down, but always got pushed right back up. And we're sitting literally bouncing right on top of it right now. So I think if we come down, if we go below here, this 43.9, 43.8 area, decisively, I mean, if we break below it very quickly and then of course get pushed right back up, that's one thing. But if we start trading and start consolidating below that 53.9, I do think that might be a sign that things are going to get, at least in the short term, things are going to come back down to much, much lower prices here in the short term. We'll have to wait and see kind of how this ends up playing out. But this is certainly getting my attention. Other thing getting my attention, and I usually don't put much weight in this, guys, but looking at the Stochk RSI on the daily Stochk RSI, guys, we can see that it's, or excuse me, not the daily, it's not what I wanted. the weekly. Stoke RSI, guys, we can see that the weekly is sitting up in here very in overbought territory. If we kind of look over here in the past, the last time that it was in this area was back in December of 2017, which we all know what happened back in December of 2017. Things started to crash, and we've been up in here for up in this overbought area since March the 11th, just kind of trading up here. So again, this is screaming for a larger correction. Will that happen? I don't know, but it's definitely got my attention. Looking at the weekly chart, guys, of course, we kind of take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Are we looking at a, is this consolidating into a tighter and tighter series of lower highs, higher lows, approaching an apex of a possible larger wedge here? Yeah, that's possible, guys. And if that does happen, of course, we're going to see an explosion here very soon in the next couple months, which I think is a very real possibility. But looking at last week's candle, guys, we kind of had this bearish spinning top that could be interpreted as a reversal candle here in the short term, at least coming back down here and breaking 5,000. As of right now, that's not been confirmed, but it's definitely on the table, definitely a real possibility. And of course, as I've shown you in the past here, guys, this weekly candle or this weekly chart has been screaming for a larger correction for some time. So is this going to be the time where we get that? We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But as of right now, guys, I'm watching, as I said, this ascending support line here. A break below that would be a bearish sign. I think we're going to bring us down to 4,000 if that happens. And of course, this descending resistance line here, a break above that, I think would be a rather bullish sign, guys. And of course, that could, I think, take us up to around the $6,000 range. Where I think we're going to find a lot of resistance as well. So as of right now, guys, I'm basically hands off, waiting to see how this plays out. There's a lot. It's really funny to see the market just react with so much uncertainty. This Tether thing caught a lot of people off guard. Although I think a lot of people that were in their short positions, not so much. I think we had a lot of insider trading going with those shorts. That being said, I think it's caught them off guard at the fact that how well this has held up so far. Is that going to continue that way, guys? I would like to pick a side here, but again, guys, I'm just going to I'm going to always be honest with you here, guys. And the truth is, I can see this thing breaking either way at the moment. And I would just, at the moment, guys, your best play, unless you're a day trader, swing trader, guys, and you're just playing the very small time frames here. The bigger time frames just says the smart money is just to sit back, wait and see how this plays out, guys, and then of course play the breakout. So if we break up above here, this descending resistance line here, play the breakout, guys. Play up to $6,000 here. If we break below this ascending support, or excuse me, if we break below 5,000, go short and short it down here to 4,500. If you can't go short, guys, if you're not comfortable going short, look to start picking up, start buying down here at this ascending support line here. If not down here at 4,000, it might be a good area to dollar cost average in all the way down to and including 4,000. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. As always, would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Workin, signing out.